in Boston, where a tragically injured athlete is inspiring so many people with his determination and spirit. We're going to tell you about a medical procedure that gives hope to childless couples, and the story of a town leader accused of a shocking crime that has his island community up in arms. All that plus Robin Carter, she's got the big story on Princess Di, Michael Jackson, and all the other entertainment news on this very special day and date from Quincy Market in Boston.
He reached his goal of taking to the ice with the team, but 11 seconds later, the 20-year-old's dream melted away.
I completely remember just flopping to the ice, having no control of my body.
On Day and Date, one team player's personal best.
I do, you know, everything that I want to do basically, except for put my skates on and go out and play.
He's the most powerful politician on a tiny island where the affluent remain isolated. But now, he's accused of an unthinkable crime.
I know in my heart that I'm innocent of what I'm being accused of.
The sex scandal that's rocking Block Island.
You hear people that, you know, get pregnant doing this, and the little kids that get pregnant. I mean, I used to cry. That got me more than anything that I had to go through.
They spent precious time and money struggling to have a child. But then, an unusual method finally made them parents. Today, an experimental procedure delivering astounding results.
You know, I'm sure every parent, their kid's the greatest, but I'm sorry, mine is.
Coming up when Day and Date continues from Boston, we'll tell you about a new hope for couples who've been unable to have children.
And this was our last shot.
And it worked out.
Thank God.
If you've been trying in vain to have a baby, then you know what it's like to wait and wait for a dream that never seems to come true. Now, some couples will often do anything and pay anything in an effort to start a family. The couple you're about to meet tried every medical procedure available in the hopes of having children. But it wasn't until they tried an experimental procedure developed right here in Boston that their dreams of a family finally came true. Charles Molyneux has the story that offers hope to would-be parents everywhere.
Nice to know.
When Donna and Tony Gilio got married 8 years ago, they wanted to start having children right away. But things didn't work out the way they planned.
Since I've been married, I haven't been on birth control, and when nothing happens, I really wasn't that concerned. But then, you know, I got married at 26, and 30 was coming right up there, so at that point I started getting worried.
Donna and Tony found out they were one of the 15% of couples who have difficulty conceiving. What followed was an endless round of doctors, drugs, and disappointment.
That, to me, was probably more traumatic than anything. Not being able to conceive, and then you'd hear, I mean, you hear people that, you know, get pregnant doing this, and the little kids that get pregnant. I mean, I used to cry. That got me more than anything that I had to go through.
Donna's husband, Tony, who gave his wife hormone injections every day for 2 years, says the pressure was unbearable.
Me giving a shot and her crying and then, you know, her being negative, now this ain't gonna work time and time again, and I couldn't put any more stress on her.
I was black and blue everywhere. I mean, I don't have a vein anymore where they can take blood from me.
And then there were the side effects of the hormones designed to increase fertility.
One of the drugs I was taking said that I could put on weight almost up to 200 pounds. That didn't really, that probably scared me more than anything.
And that doesn't even account for the financial pressure the couple found themselves under.
I don't mind saying it cost over like 5 years about $40,000 of our money, that, you know, hard-earned, saved money that wasn't covered by insurance, you know, and it got to us after a while. So this procedure really was our last shot.
The last shot procedure Donna and Tony turned to is an experimental process known as IVC, short for intravaginal culture. Unlike in vitro fertilization, IVC uses no fertility drugs. It harvests the single egg released naturally each month. Dr. Gary Gross helped develop the technique.
We now had the technology to measure the development of her leading follicle with ultrasound accurately so that we could do a very simple retrieval and retrieve that egg with minimal medication in an office examining room an hour or 2 or 3 before it was designated to ovulate on its own.
The other innovation of the IVC process is that the egg isn't fertilized in a petri dish. Instead, it's placed along with the husband's sperm in a tiny cylinder and put back inside the woman. The French inventor of IVC, Dr. Claude Renou, says this alleviates many women's fears.
Are you sure that it's my embryo that you transfer? Are you sure that there is no risk of any problem during this culture in the incubator?
If you could have this procedure done instead of the dish, this would be the way to go. It's easy, it's no drugs involved, it's just the closest to natural you're going to get.
But IVC is still controversial. Dr. Merrill Berger, a partner in one of Boston's largest infertility clinics, says Dr. Renou's method is not the best way to get pregnant.
The benefit of natural cycle seems obvious when you first confront it. The problem is that one has to look at the reason one uses drugs in the first place, which is to get multiple eggs to increase the efficiency. With a natural cycle IVF, there's only one egg. And one egg is an inefficient way of doing this particular procedure, so that success rates are significantly diminished over the conventional way. And so it's a trade-off.
Doctors Gross and Renou admit that their success rate so far is about half that of IVF. But they say because their procedure is easier on the patients and about a third the price of conventional in vitro, couples can keep trying and increase their odds.
It's a simpler process that the patient is not committed to 3 weeks of monitoring her cycle with ultrasound examinations and hormonal determinations and daily injections of one or more hormones throughout the course of those 3 weeks.
Go get Mommy. Get Mommy. Get her. Go get Mommy.
Come on.
But for the Gillios, the only real thing that matters is that the IVC process worked. Donna and Tony are the proud parents of 21-month-old Anthony Jr.
He's our life. You know, I'm sure every parent, their kid's the greatest, but I'm sorry, mine is.
Ready, set, go, all right. They could have told us any amount of money.
It didn't matter. I would have borrowed the money if I didn't have it. Because
that was it. We had nothing. This was our last shot.
And it worked out.
Thank God.
Oh, what a blessing for them. Now, the IVC process is still awaiting FDA approval, but its developers hope that the technique will be available across the country later next year. If you'd like more information, you can call a free number. It's 1-800-IVC-EASY. That's 1-800-IVC-EASY.